The best decision makers are decisive. But you have to train yourself, because a lot of it has to do with trusting yourself in the moment. Imagine an archer. Being decisive is the arrow that pierces through the chaos and confusion of the environment and precisely strikes the target. That's the decisiveness. This doesn't come by accident. I've spent four decades basically making tough decisions at the national and international level. Mostly when it was in the military, some of them were life and death decisions.
Right.
But we also had the decisions that were policy, decisions that were framed by the current events of the day. Good decisions are critical to people and organizations. If we can make good decisions, we tend to diffuse crises before they get too big. Most people, given the option, would like to solve the problem they like to solve versus the problem that they have.
Okay, what does that mean?
So imagine something is happening. Because I have this experience, these chunks of experience from my background about how I've solved other problems, I'm going to try to make the existing problem fit one of my solutions.
Okay.
And so I'm going to continue to manipulate what I'm thinking I'm manipulating the problem to fit one of my ready-made solutions. Instead of being honest and saying, this is the problem as it is. That will help me drive the timing of the solution, because when I see it for what it is, I may recognize this is a very close-in problem, or maybe it's a farther out problem. Make that call, and I say, Chancellor, we have a problem. We have agreed on 4 core questions.
Okay.
And these 4 core questions will simplify your information flow and, more importantly, your decision-making process significantly.
Okay.
And so we focus on these 4. The first question is this: Mr. Chancellor, we have a problem. His very first question to me is, what do we know? Question 1, what do we know?
What do we know?
And what I mean by that is for fact. Like, we know this, not what we think we know. We know this. So initially, that's going to be pretty small. The second question backs it up, which is, what don't we know? Why is this an important question? As the leader, if I ask my staff, what do we know? But then I ask them, what don't we know? I'm giving them permission to not know stuff.
Right. Where they're trying to frantically show you that they know everything.
Right.
Or yeah.
I'm telling them, you don't have to know everything right away. Remember that OODA, or that loop of decision making? This is the tight version, right? Right now, I know you don't know a lot. So just tell me what you know. And because I'm giving you permission not to know everything, I can really trust what you just told me we know.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to snow me. Also, you don't have to wait to talk to me, because you're not waiting in your office going, okay, he might ask this, he might ask that.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just going to tell him I don't know. Here's what we know, here's what we don't know. The third question is, what are we doing about it? So I'm asking them, we don't know some stuff. What are we doing about it? Now, if I've been good at my job, I have taught my leader, this is how we come up with options, our process, so that when they get these options, maybe they're not great, but they know where they came from. That's where what don't we know, when I come back to them with, well, this is what we're doing about it. Now they say, okay, I know how you got there. I don't like them, but I get it. Right?
Right.
The last one, particularly for the senior leader, is who else needs to know? Because a lot of times, as the problem solver, I'm dealing with the folks that are my peer level, but I could use some help from the boss. Right? So as the leader, I should be asking them, who else needs to know?
Yeah.
How can I empower you by being up and out, making the connections, maybe in the community, maybe with a resource, maybe it's somebody else in the organization that needs to know. It's that scale sometimes of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's also at the very basics of how you solve a problem in your own company, in a division of your company. It's like, what do we know? What don't we know? Okay, what are we doing about it? And Should we tell the boss? Who else needs to know?
Yeah.